I am continuing my reading, and what I'm doing in this series is I am reading through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order according to events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around just a little bit as I go on. Right now, I am still reading in the book of Exodus. This will be chapter 7. This chapter contains a few portions from the Joseph Smith translation. This is an inspired correction or translation of the Bible done by Joseph Smith to restore those portions that had been lost over the years. So, let us get reading. Chapter 7. Moses appointed to give word of the Lord to Pharaoh, the Lord to multiply signs and wonders in Egypt. Aaron's rod becomes a serpent. River is turned into blood. Magicians imitate miracles of Moses and Aaron. And the Lord said unto Moses, See, I have made thee a god to Pharaoh, and Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet. Our first Joseph Smith translation. Should say, and the Lord said unto Moses, See, I have made thee a prophet to Pharaoh, and Aaron thy brother shall be thy spokesman. So, let us continue. Verse 2. Thou shalt speak all that I command thee, and Aaron thy brother shall speak unto Pharaoh, that he send the children of Israel out of his land. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt. Again, Joseph Smith translation there. And Pharaoh will harden his heart, as I said unto thee, and thou shalt multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt. So again, this is laying it firmly on Pharaoh for hardening his own heart. It's not God causing it, but God prophets. God said this is the kind of guy he is. He's going to harden his heart, but it is him doing it, not God. It also changes that Moses will multiply God's signs and wonders. It gives Moses that authority and that power to do these things. Very important thing there too. But let us continue. Verse 4. But Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that I may lay my hand upon Egypt and bring forth mine armies and my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt by great judgments. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord, when I stretch forth mine hand upon Egypt and bring out the children of Israel from among them. And Moses and Aaron did as the Lord commanded them. So did they. And Moses was 80 years old, and Aaron 83 years old, when they spake unto Pharaoh. Okay, so this way, Moses is 80 years old at this point. 80. Score is 20. 20 times 4 is 80. And Aaron is 3 years older. So, here we go. Verse 8. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, When Pharaoh shall speak unto you, saying, Shew a miracle for you, then thou shalt say unto Aaron, Take thy rod, and cast it before Pharaoh, and it shall become a serpent. And Moses and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did so as the Lord had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers. Now the magicians of Egypt, they also did in like manner with their enchantments. For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents. But Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods, and he hardened Pharaoh's heart. Then he hearkened not unto them as the Lord had said. One last Joseph Smith translation here, where it says, And he hardened Pharaoh's heart. Joseph Smith corrects this to read, And Pharaoh hardened his heart, that he hearkened not unto them, as the Lord had said. So again, laying the blame on Pharaoh. Now this is a fairly famous story, of course. We aren't told how many sorcerers and magicians in Egypt cast down their rods, but Moses' rod, or Aaron's rod, swallowed all of the other ones. Verse 14. And the Lord said unto Moses, Pharaoh's heart is hardened, he refuseth to let the people go. Get thee unto Pharaoh in the morning. Lo, he goeth out unto the water, and thou shalt stand by the river's brink against he come. And the rod, which was turned to a serpent, shalt thou take in thine hand, and thou shalt say unto him, The Lord God of the Hebrews hath sent me unto thee, saying, Let my people go, that they may serve me in the wilderness. And behold, hitherto thou wouldest not hear. Thus saith the Lord, In this thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Behold, I will smite with the rod that is in my hand upon the waters which are in the river, and they shall be turned to blood. And the fish that is in the river shall die, and the river shall stink, and the Egyptians shall loathe to drink of the water of the river. Okay, so remember also, before the whole serpents and rods and the serpents thing, he said, when Pharaoh asks thee for a sign, do the serpent trick. So Pharaoh asked for a sign, then he still refused to let him go. Now God's saying, go sit by the river and wait for Pharaoh. He's going to come out, and when he comes out, you tell him that if he doesn't let you go, you're going to turn the river into blood. Is that the fish die because fish breathe in water. They don't breathe in blood. And the river shall stink because it is blood. It will start to decompose. Kind of disgusting to think about. But, verse 19, And the Lord spake unto Moses, Say unto Aaron, Take thy rod, and stretch out thine hand upon the waters of Egypt, upon their streams, upon their rivers, and upon their ponds, and upon all their pools of water, that they may become blood, and that there may be blood throughout all the land of Egypt, both in vessels of wood and in vessels of stone. And Moses and Aaron did so as the Lord commanded, and he lifted up the rod and smote the waters that were in the river in the sight of Pharaoh and in the sight of his servants, and all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood. So, there you go. Let me just finish this really quick. And the fish that was in the river died, and the river stank, and the Egyptians could not drink of the water of the river. And there was blood throughout all the land of Egypt. And the magicians of Egypt did so with their enchantments. And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, neither did he hearken unto them as the Lord had said. And Pharaoh turned and went into his house, neither did he set his heart to this also. And all the Egyptians digged round about the river for water to drink, for they could not drink of the water of the river. And 7 days were fulfilled after the Lord had smitten the river. So it took 7 days for the natural waters to flow down from the mountains and wash all the blood away, basically. That's what I'm getting from that. But he also said there was blood throughout all Egypt, which seems to indicate to me that it wasn't just the Nile River. It was all water was turned to blood. And then they had to start digging new wells and trying to get down into the groundwater because all the surface water was turned to blood. But Pharaoh did not hearken to this either. But another note, the magicians also turned water to blood. And this shows us that Satan has power. He has power in the physical world because he could give the priests of Pharaoh. These magicians had the power. They turned rods into serpents. They turned water into blood. Some people want to speculate that all these were just tricks. These were illusions created, like in the movie The Prince of Egypt, done by DreamWorks, where they just put some powder in the water and make it red. No, they were actually doing the same things, not on as big a scale. Remember, Moses' serpent swallowed up all the others. And Moses turned all the water in Egypt to blood. They also turned water to blood, probably a much smaller portion, but they did. This shows that Satan has power and that those who believe, even if they are following Satan, Satan can grant incredible power. Not as powerful as God, but he has power. And we always need to remember that. But I will leave that here, and I'll see you in the next one.